Hi guys, good morning and good evening. I hope you are able to hear me. Okay, so the last session we started before this SCD type 1 and type 2 implementation. Okay, so that I'm going to take you through. Before that, let me create two databases I required. Once we created two databases, I'll come back and talk about how we can integrate with the code repository. That we'll see. Let's create two databases. Let's create. We already know about how we can create a databases. Let me take my resource group and database name I'm taking as a source and server is required here. Let me take a Basket SQL. Let's take a Central India. Go with SQL authentication and provide the password and confirm the password. Hit OK. I wanted to go for development environment and make sure to take only basic configuration. Hit apply. Let's go to next. Take your public endpoint and switch on these two buttons here. Let's review plus create. We already know all this stuff. Okay, so did anyone get the solution for this? Did anyone get the solution? Can respond in chat. So did you get solution finally or not? Try. You have to try. You have to. If you can say where exactly you face an issue, then I'll tell you. I'll help you to get the solution. Okay, so we run got the solution. Good. So how about others? Let's go to resource here. And I wanted to create one more SQL database because for my SCD type 1 implementation, I required two databases, source database and target database. Source database and target database is required. Let's create one more database. So database name, I'm just going to provide target. Let's say development. And let me keep this basic configuration. Let's apply. Everything is same. Okay, so review plus create. Let's go to next and switch on this current IP address. Review plus create. SAD type 1. So here first I'm going to keep customer ID, customer name, location, and sales. So few columns I'm just going to have it here. Customer name, customer number is 101 and customer name is Bhaskar. Location is Hyderabad. Sales is 1000. And customer ID is 102. Name is Sandy. Let's say first customer ID only one. So something like this, I'm having it. Table name, I'm just saying customer. Okay. So this is the customer table I'm having, and this is the names of the columns for that particular table. The same thing I'm just going to keep in the target also. So this is there in the source database. And target also we are going to have it, right? So I'm just going to keep this in the target as well. Okay. So when the first time loading, same table name also is same in the source and target. I just wanted to maintain the same naming standard. Okay, just imagine. If the table is not having the date column, then you cannot go for incremental loading. Okay. So if you wanted to go for incremental loading, then SAD type 1, we can go first. Okay, so what I wanted to say here is, when you go for SAD type 1, it is used to maintain near current data. If you wanted to maintain near current data, then we are going to use the SAD type 1 implementation. Okay, so in many places we are having this SAD type 1. Okay, so we can do it in data flow, we can do it in a SQL, we can do it in a Databricks. Okay, so depends on the places we can do it. Okay, so the way you do it in SQL, in Databricks, more or less same. Okay, so here we are not going to write the code, we are going to use the completely user interface only. So SAD type 1, when you go, a few things you need to keep in mind. If there is a new record in the data source. Okay, so when you first time load, what happens is your SAD type 1 implementation is going to look into the target. That is going to look into this target. Is my 101 existed in the source target or not? So when you see here, first time it is having a blank. So when it is having a blank, then that means that is not existed. Okay, so this is a new record in the data source. This is a new record in the data source. So what I'm saying, if there is a new record in the data source, then make sure to insert that record into the target. If it is a new record, how can you say that is a new record? If customer ID is not existed in the target table, then we can say that particular record is a new record. So if that is the case, then we can insert this new record into the target. Okay, so when you run the next time, okay, so just imagine there is a one more new record is added here. There is a one more new record is added. 102, Sandy, Chennai, 2000. So when you run next time, then it is going to check your SAD type 1 implementation is going to check is my 101 existed or not in the target. So it is existed. If it is existed, then it will check is target customer name and source customer name same or not. And is target location name and source location name is same or not. Is target sales value and source sales value is same or not, is going to check. So in this particular case, you cannot find any changes. In this case, you cannot find any changes. Okay, so if it is already existed, you can say the third step, if there is no change in the data source record, in this particular 101 is not having any change. And if there is no change in the source record and target record, then ignore the particular record. So we are not going to do anything for 101 as it is existed as well as there is no change. 102 is not existed. 102 is not available in the target. Okay, so in that case, we can feed the same values here. And you just imagine third time you're running it. Third time you're running it. Okay, so 103, Raja, Bangalore, 5,000. And the Sandy location is changed to Pune. There is a change has happened here. And this is one new record. So first 101. 101 is existed in the target. And then it will check the column values of the source and target column values. All are same. Then we are ignoring the 101. And 102. 102 is also existed in the target. But when it is existed, you need to check is my source customer name and target customer name same or not. Is my target location and source location is same or not. These two are not same. This is the old value. Okay, so you change this address, you change the location. Then definitely what you have to do, you have to bring this value into this particular place. Okay, so that is update. That means if there is a, you can say, if there is an updated record in the data source, then make sure to update that record in the target. So that is what it is. Here I have the updated value. So if there is an update in the source, then update in the target also. And this is a completely new record. So that is how we are going to do it. So that means, so one day lag will be there if it is, if you schedule this process to do it on every day. Okay, so that means we can have a near real-time data. If the data is already loaded, then it is not going to load it. If the data is not loaded, then it is going to load it. Okay, so that is what your SAD type 1 implementation. So how we can do it? How do we know that table is not available, that particular record is not available? So for that reason, so this is the database name called source data. I mean to say source it is. And this is target. Okay, source database and target database. So we are already having these two databases. Two are already. Okay, so I'm not going to use this anymore. And let's go to your SQL Server Management Studio. Let me refresh this. So no tables are available, you can say. So I wanted to create a table. Create table. Table name is customer. So you have to take the columns here. Whatever the columns we listed in the Excel, the same thing I'm just taking. Customer ID of integer data type and customer name is varchar and location is also varchar and sales. So that is money data type. So let me create this table here in the customer and the source data. So you don't have a data in this particular table. So you can say select star from customer. No data is available. The same thing we need to do it in the target also. The same table we have to create in a target as well for practicing. Okay, so in real time you are not going to set up all these things, but here you have to know how we can set up it. So this part is done. Now I'm going to do this side also, target side also. So target database is this one. Let's select a target, hit a new query, paste it here, execute. No data is available here also. It is created. And so in the source, I wanted to feed one record. Insert into customer values 101 Bhaskar Hyderabad thousand. So only one record I'm just feeding into the source. Now I can see one record. But in the target, we don't have a record here. Okay, so we have to bring the dot record into the target. So let's go to the data flow. I'm already having the data factory. I'm just going to use this. Okay, so for time being, I'm just going to I'll talk about what happens if you go for a Git repository if you wanted to integrate it. Let me do that as well. Let's go to your portal. You can search for DevOps. Azure DevOps organizations, you can search. My Azure DevOps organization. Just follow me what I am going to do. The same thing, we just try to do it. So make sure to have a default directory here for practicing. Okay, so it was already there. Once you're done, you need to create a directory. You need to create an organization. Okay, you need to have an organization. I'm just going to create a new organization. When you create it, it will ask you to create the name of the organization. Okay, let's create it and hit on continue. I'm just saying Bhaskar ADE02. I'm just saying capital VJDS. Okay, just provide these values and this is the name of the organization. Continue. So once organization is created, it is going to ask you to create a project. Okay, so I'm just going to say project -ADA-02. Okay, and make sure to have it a private. And then create a project. So inside the project, you can have a multiple repositories. Okay, in one organization, you can have a multiple projects, but for every batch, I'm just trying to create one organization and one project. Let's create a project. So by default, your project name is going to come as a data factory, I mean to say repository. Okay, so I wanted to connect to this. If you go to the repositories here, you can see your project ADE02 is the name of the repository. So you can take this entire link, or you can just provide all those details. It will come back to in this particular place. Let's go back to your data factory. So I wanted to integrate it. I wanted to integrate with the Git. So in order to do this, basically in real time, you need to get access for the Git repository. Then you have to set up. Okay, so basically you don't need to set up because it was already setup will be done. And when the moment you open the data factory, automatically it will be opened with the Git. So here, since we are doing as a practice, we have to set up from our side. If it is a brand new, then definitely we need to set up even there also. Let's set up code repository. Repository type is Azure DevOps Git. Azure DevOps Git, and make sure to have a cloud and default directory. It is you're having a default directory. Let's hit on continue. And then you can provide a repository link, or you can see all the repositories from this particular place. What is your organization name? Just now we have created organization name, Bhaskar-ADE-02. And then project name. Project name also we created, right? Project-ADE-02. And then repository name. Your project name itself is going to be here as a repository. If you want to create a separate repository, we can create it. At the time of project, I'm going to create a separate repository for ADF and separate repository for Databricks. I'm going to do it. So for this particular moment, I just wanted to use the same default directory with project name. So that is one thing you have to choose. And collaboration branch, you have to take it. So collaboration branch, you can create it if you want to create. Okay, so basically here we are not having a branch, right? So we need to create a branch. Collaboration branch, you require to create it. So in my case, I wanted to say basically we'll be having a master branch. Okay, so in master branch, basically we don't do anything. Otherwise, let me create a repository itself. Okay, I don't have a master branch here. Apart from the master branch, you can also have a collaboration branch, or we can call it as a development branch. Let me go back to the add a readme file for this one. Initialize. Okay, I think now it will be available main branch. Let's go back and provide all the details again. Continue. Organization AD02, project AD02, repository name same project AD02, but this time you can say collaboration branches main branch. Just leave it as it is. Okay, so what I did here is I just selected readme and initialize is there. Once I initialize it, that main branch is going to be created. Okay, by default. So that for that reason I just taken that. So since I'm not having anything in the data factory, I don't need to import the existing resources. So only if you're already having a pipelines in the data factory, if you wanted to bring those pipelines into the repository, then you can choose this option. Otherwise, you just uncheck that. and publish branch, everything is fine. Let's hit on apply. So once I hit on apply, it is going to integrate with the main branch. I mean to say repository. So this is a live branch is this one, and it is a live of your data factory. Now we are there in the main branch. And if you want to create a branch, you can create a branch. So I'm just going to create a branch here. The name of the branch, I'm just going to say SCD type 1. Okay, so you can give whatever the naming standard you want. You just say hit OK. Hit create. So when you create any branch in the real time, you have to create based on collaboration branch. So in this particular case, I'm treating this collaboration branch itself is the main branch. Okay, so in real time, you'll be having different branch also. Before main branch, you can have a collaboration branch. Okay, so that branch is going to bring the data, bring the code into the main branch. Okay, so I'll talk about it when the project comes. So here I'm taking main branch itself as a collaboration branch. Let's create it. Now you can see you're there in the main branch. You're there in the working branch. So once you have done this, then I wanted to create a pipeline for this. For this particular requirement, I wanted to do it. So first you have to create a link services. You have to create a link services. My data source is Azure SQL Server database. So I'm just going to say Azure SQL database. Hit continue. Link service underscore Azure SQL underscore source. Okay, so this is one of the link service. I'm just taking a link service here. Server name is Bhaskar SQL and database name is source database. SQL authentication Bhaskar and provide the password. Let's make a test connection and hit on create. So when you use the Git, it is going to store the details in the Git as well as it is also going to store directly in the data factory also. Okay, so immediately it is going to be published to the data factory. Let's hit OK. And one more link service I required. Azure SQL database. Continue. So this is going to be target. Let's take a subscription. Server name. We know already all these details. Target. And username. And provide the password. Let's make a test connection. And create. Hit OK. Okay, so once that is done, then we need to start doing the development. So I don't need to create a data set because I'm going to use the inline data set for getting the data from the database. So from here, I wanted to read it, right? Let's go to the data flow. I'm just going to say data flow underscore SCD type 1. Okay, so previously, if you don't have a proper completed data flow, you cannot save it. But now you can have a save button. Okay, so you can save it. Whenever you wanted to save, you can save it. So once it's saved, the code is going to be pushed into this particular branch. When the moment is saved here in the data factory, the code will be pushed into this particular branch. If you go to your, if you go to here and you just refresh this, now you can see somewhere you can find SCD type 1, you can see here. If you select the SCD type 1, this is a branch, right? Main branch, when you're there in the main branch, nothing is there. But when you're there in your working branch, what is your working branch? SCD type 1. Now you have a link services and we started the data flow. The data flow name also is there, df SCD type 1 .json. Okay, so all the code will be stored in the form of JSON format. Okay, so now we have a data flow. Let's go back to here. add a source. I'm just going to say SRC customer. Source customer. Inline I'm taking. Let's go for Azure SQL. Let's take Azure SQL database. So link service is the source. Link service is the source. And source options, we need to choose the query. So how we can write the query here? We can write directly select star from if you need all the columns. Okay, so if you need any specific columns, then you can give a customer ID, something like this. You can specify the list of columns. Customer name, location, and sales. Let's take this code and paste it here. Okay, so once you've done this, then you need to go to the projection. You need to have a schema. But before that, you need to start this. So multiple persons can work with their own working branch. Okay, so I'll give the details about it, how exactly it is going to be happen. It's not yet started. So now it is available. Select this. Go to your projection. Still it is not making it available. Okay, now you can see import schema. Let's hit on import schema. So depends on the query, it is going to take the columns here. Let's close this. And you can see the data preview also. Let me save this. And I'm just going to reopen this data flow. Now you can see there is a one record. And I wanted to get the data from the target also, right? Let's take a add source, TRG customer, target customer. Azure SQL database. Let's take a link service. So I'm going to use the same query here also. I'm going to use the same query because table name also is same. Okay, so I wanted to go to the projection, import the schema. Let's close this. From the target, you are not going to have any record. No record is available. It is having empty. Okay, so to compare this source column values and target column values, to differentiate them, I'm going to take this column names a prefix as a SRC and this column names prefix as a TRC. So for that reason, I'm going to use the select transformation. We already know what is the intention of the select transformation. I'm just going to say SRC select, source select, and here I'm going to give the prefix SRC underscore column name. So that means that indicates those columns are coming from the source side. From the data source it is coming. From the underlying data source they are coming. You can see that. Let's close this. Now you can see the column names is changed. The same way here also I'm going to change. This is TRG select. So here I'm going to take TRG underscore. Let's give a prefix for all the columns. Let's close this. Okay, so then I wanted to look into the target, right? Is record is existed or not? So to look into this particular place, is record available or not, then we are going to use the transformation called lookup transformation. So lookup transformation is used to look up onto the lookup data source. The lookup data source may be file system, the lookup data source may be database also. Okay, so in this particular case, we are going to look into the database. Let's add here. I'm going to take a lookup transformation. Lookup LKP on target. I'm just giving some name. Okay, so you can choose the condition here. What is the column condition? Source customer ID equals to right stream we have not taken, lookup stream we are going to look up on what? Target select. So I'm going to take here target customer ID. So it's going to work as a left outer join. Okay, so it is going to work as a left outer join. Let's close this. Now you can see. So this 101 is not existed. So because of that reason, the right side table, that means from this side you are getting nulls only. All columns are having the nulls. So that indicates this record is new record. So I'm going to feed one more record in the source. Okay, so previously it is Chennai, I guess. Let me take 102, I'm just taking Sandy, Chennai, and 2000. So I'm just feeding one more record in the source. So now 2 records are there. And this record I'm just going to feed in the target also. For better explanation, I'm just doing it. So one existed record, one new record, right? Now if we go here, what happens is, I'm just going to refresh from the sources. 101 also is existed in the target. We'll show the values for 101. You can see manually I inserted right just now. And 102 is a new record and 101 is existed record. So 2 are there. Okay, so I wanted to give a flag. I wanted to create a flag to say is that existed record or new record. Okay, so to say that is a existed record or new record, I wanted to give a flag. So to give a flag, you can use derived column transformation. Okay, you can use a derived column transformation. Let's say derived. Let me say new or existed. New or existed, I'm just giving. So first new records. For this one, you have to say, when we can say it is a new record is, if target customer ID is null, then we can say it is a new record, right? So for this one, is null of, maybe the function name is wrong, small case, it's a case sensitive, is null of your target customer ID. If it is null, then it returns true. If it is true, then it is a new record. Just close this one. New, here we have to say not only that, existed also we have to say, right? New or existed. Let me keep here also the same thing. New or existed. So if it is true, if this returns true, then what I wanted to say is, if the value of this expression is true, then I wanted to say yes. Else I wanted to say no. Okay, you can take it. Or if you wanted to take new, you can say new. Existed, you can say existed. Let's say one finish and closes. Okay, so let me change this column name. I don't want to take like this. Let's take a flag. So for 101, it is saying existed. For 102, what it is saying, it is a new record. Okay, if it is a new record, you have to go in one flow, and if it is an existed record, you have to go one flow. 2 different flows you have to go. 2 different flows. One is inserted flow and other is updated flow. So we discussed about it. If you wanted to split the data based on your condition, then you have to use a transformation called conditional split transformation. You can use the conditional split transformation to take updated record and what we can say, a new records. Okay, so I'm just taking a split here. Let's say a new. So when we can go for this is, if the flag value equals to a new, then those records only will go for this particular output. I'm just taking out this. Let me add existed. Let's save and finish. So two outputs are there. Okay, so one output is new and other is existed. Okay, new records. Let me change this naming standard. New records, existed records. Okay, so here I'm going to use directly what are the columns are there here. Let me see how exactly the data is coming. I need to ignore these columns. I don't need these columns. I need only these columns only because new records only required. So if this is the case, if you wanted to restrict the number of columns and if you want to rename the columns, then you can go for again select transformation. So here I don't need any target columns. I don't need a flag also. I don't need target cells. I don't need target columns. So I need only source columns. Let's take out this SRC. We don't need to have it. You can just remove that. And let's close. You're going to have only a new records from the data source. And this part also is required, right? Okay, so let me store this data into the target first. To load this data into the target, we can use the sync. Let's take a sync inline. I'm just going to say Azure SQL database. Let's take a target. Let's go to the settings. So target schema, just refresh it. Let's say it is a DBO. Refresh again to get the table. So we don't need to refresh again and again. You can get it. Sometimes it may take some time. So I went for refresh. So I wanted to insert. Your update method is insert. Let's close this. Mapping will be automatically it will be mapped because the same name of the columns. Okay, so same standard of the column, right? Naming standard is same. So you can have a auto mapping. If you want to check, you can uncheck and check is that mapping perfectly alright or not. So this is new records are inserted. That means what? In this particular point here, if there is a new record in the data source, then make sure to insert the data into the target. So that is what we are doing here in this particular approach. The second thing here, existed records. So existed records, you have to take only modified records. Okay, so in this particular Excel file, if you say this is not a modified record, only this is the modified record last time, right? Okay, so previously it was 10 idea. Okay. So if it is modified, just take only modified record. Okay, so otherwise I don't need to bring it. So if this is the case, then you have to compare, you have to apply the filter condition here. Okay, so how we can write the filter condition? You can directly use the filter transformation because if there is no change, then you can ignore that. Okay, you can take only if it is modified record. So directly I can go for filter transformation. Let's take a filter transformation here. Modified records. Let's go here. We need to write a condition. We need to write a condition. Basically, source customer, I mean to say, we are not going to compare this two column. This will be fixed. So there is a chances to change the name of the customer. Okay, so in very rare situations, there is a chances, but there is a more chances to change the location. And sales. Okay, so if the order is cancelled, or definitely there will be a change in the sales amount. Okay, so if you have a change in the sales, even that also I wanted to consider to compare it. So I'm going to say source customer name is not equals to target customer name. You can write here TRJ customer name or if source name, source customer name and target name are different, not equal to means different, or if source location is not equals to target location, or source sales is not equal to TRG sales. So if any one of them is not saying, it is going to return true. If it is true, then only that record will come into the output. Let's close this. So no change record is there, right? So for just making you sure the updated record only is coming, I'm just going to insert one more record as well Excel file 103 Raja, Bangalore. That is 5,000. One record I'm just inserting here. And target is having one record. Oh my god. I'll do one thing. Reinserting. Okay, so I'm going to modify this particular record. Okay, so 101 I'm just going to modify to get this output here. Okay, I wanted to show some record is coming here. Okay, so for that reason, let's say update customers set location equals to Delhi, where customer ID is 101. So I'm just updating in the source. Now, if I refresh this from the source, then you can see you'll be having that record. Okay, because the values are different. So exist a record, but it is a modified record, right? This value is not same. This value, source location and target location is not same. Because of that reason, it is getting only modified records. So here I'm going to use again select transformation to restrict the columns. I don't need the flag. I don't need to have all these columns, target columns. Just take out all the target columns and rename this back to your original naming columns. Let's close this. So this data is updated. And this data has to go for update. So this is by default, it will go for insert only. By default, this data will go for insert. If you see here, there is a symbol called plus symbol that indicates insert. So if it is a star, then it is going to take as a update. Here, in this particular case, we are not going to write update statements. If you have experience in SSIS, if you wanted to do SSIS SAD type 1 implementation, you have to write the update statements the way I written it. More or less in the same way, you are going to write the update statement. But here, we are not going to write update statements. This record itself will go for update automatically. So that will be handled by behind the scene. So to make sure this, whatever the record is coming, I'm going to keep one transformation here. Whatever the record is coming through this particular transformation will be treated as updated. So this state we need to change it. Okay, so this rule we need to change. So if this is the case, then we are going to use transformation called row modified transformation. Row modified transformation is your alter row transformation. Okay, it is going to modify the row. Let's say alter row. The condition is update if 1 equals to 1. That means true only. So every record is going to be updated, whatever the record is coming through this alter row transformation. You can specify the conditions here. Okay, so depends on the condition, it is going to update it. So here I'm giving everything is true only. Okay, so let's close this. And then I'm going to add a sim. Let's take an inline Azure SQL database. Let's take a target. Go to your settings, refresh it. Take a DVO. Let's take a table name. Go to your settings. In the settings itself, it's not going for insert, it's going for update. So update based on key column. So what is the key column here? It's based on the customer ID, it is going to do it. Let's close this. Sometimes it will not take key column properly. If you face this kind of situations, just save this code first. Close this and reopen it. Now you can see the updated record. Okay, let's save again. Now I need to run this, right? To run this, we need to have a pipeline. A new pipeline. PL underscore SCD type 2. Sorry, type 1. Let's take a data flow activity. Make a settings. And I'm just going to call your SCD type. So I'm going to publish this. I'm going to save this also. Once you save it, then you can just refresh this entire thing. You have only data flow and you have a link services. And once I save this code, the pipeline also is going to come. Just refresh this page. Now you can see the pipeline here. To expand this pipeline folder, you can see PL SCD type1.json. Okay, so let me run this. I wanted to run it. Before running, I wanted to remove the data from the target. So target should not have the data. Let's truncate this. I don't have the data in that. target table. So in the source also I'm going to truncate first. No data is available. So the reason why I inserted is to explain clearly about your data flow. For that reason, I have done it. So I'm just going to add only one record in the source. Only one record is available. If we execute this select statement, no data is available in the target. No data is available. So I wanted to run the data. Let's go here and start debug. Now it is succeeded. Let's go and see the data in the target table. You can find 101. I'm going to add one more record in the source 102. Okay, so let me rerun this pipeline. Now if you go and see your target, you'll be having one more record. That is fine. Okay, the final record, I'm just going to do it. One new record. I'm just going to update this 102 as per the explanation. I'm just updating. One existed record without change and one new record, one updated record. Okay, so let me run this again. Okay, now if we go and see the target, you can see the location is changed. Previously it was Chennai, now it is a Pune. Okay, so otherwise what happens is all the records are going to be loaded. Okay, so if we can go here, this bubble symbols, how many records are there? Sync 1 is one row, sync 2 is one row. Okay, so if you wanted to go for to see, so this is the place we use the lookup, right? Lookup is having how many records? Lookup, so 3 rows are coming from the source. Okay, and here also there is a partitions are there, right? 106. I'll talk about this, guys. Okay, so tomorrow itself I'll talk. Okay, so there is a partitioning mechanism to improve the performance, especially when you go for lookup, exist, and join transformations. Okay, so ignore that. And 3 rows are there. 3 rows are having in this particular place. And here I'm going to check the condition. For these 3 rows, existed or non-existed, it is getting. That means new or existed. This will go for new record, and this will go for updated records. Sorry, existed. Existed 2 are there, and filter is taking only 1 record because it is taking only modified records. So here it is existed records were taken. Okay, so all 2 records will be there. Here only modified records. Okay, so because of that reason, you can have a different number of records here. Okay. So 1 record will go for insert and 1 record will go for update. Okay, so this is about SAD type 1 implementation. Let's go back to here. I wanted to save this code. It was saved. Now, I'll stop here. Okay, so I'll continue this, like how we can mesh this code with the main branch and how we can bring it into the data factory. So now this code is not available in the data factory. This code is not available in the data factory. Okay, so I'll talk about it. Okay, so I'll give 5 minutes to take a questions. Okay, I have another session to start. I'll take a questions on tomorrow if you have any more. Yes, now you can ask me questions. How we did not use self-hosted IR, right? Here did we not use? Okay, in the select again want to be how it is can do. Undo is not going to be possible, guys. Okay, so you have to do. There is a one option to add it columns. You can add it in different way, not by Control G operation, and we can add it. We can, if you remove any of the column by mistake, you can have an option there. Okay, so that I'll show you. And basically, we don't implement SAD type 1 implementation directly on the, I mean to say, on-prem data sources. Not recommended. Okay, so better always go with Azure. I mean to say Azure data sources. Okay, if you wanted to go and use the self-hosted, again, you need to have a, what we can say, subnets are required. Okay, if administrators are there, then they can go for that. So not a problem. Okay, so for practicing anyhow, we are using only basic configuration of it. No worries about it. In real time, they will take care about it. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, so only for practicing purpose, I have taken this on-prem most of the times, but we don't apply the transformations directly by taking data from on-prem. Okay, so Srini, how much experience you kept on trying to get the attempting an interview? Yesterday you sent
Yes,
some.
sir.
How much experience you kept?
4 years I kept, sir.
For an AD, Azure Data Engineering.
Yes, sir. Actually 5 years into MSSQL
Okay.
So I kept
So
4
total
years.
IT experience, total IT
Total
experience.
IT is 10 plus is there, sir.
Okay,
I have.
total guess, yesterday you were not there, right? On Saturday. Same?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so,
available, sir.
okay. So basically one of you asked how much experience, based on how much experience is tried. So total IT experience is 11 years. And for relevant experience with Azure Data Engineering is 4 plus, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what happened? Did you answer all the questions?
60% I answered, sir.
Okay.
So
Okay,
we
because
asked about
still,
connectors.
we discussed all the questions. Okay, most of the questions are
Yeah,
discussed.
most of the questions.
Yeah,
Only
and
one thing I realized that already pipeline is there. Another pipeline we can incorporate that question.
we can do it,
Yeah.
right, with execute pipeline activity. If you remember, child pipeline and parent pipeline we have seen. We came across it.
Yes.
Okay,
I said
so-
yes, but
yeah.
I
So-
didn't explain.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. And if you face, like, if you get any confusion, ask them to elaborate the question so that we can break that into pieces and we can try to give the answer. Okay, and on template and all, you're going to get it. Okay, so how we can use the Git rep. So tomorrow what I'm going to do is, I'm going to talk about this Git as well as this performance storing in the Data Factory. So once it is completed, then I'm going to talk about SAD type 2 implementation. Not on tomorrow, and day after tomorrow we are going to see SAD type 2 implementation. Okay guys, I am done for that. So tomorrow I'll take a questions if you have any questions before starting.
Oscar, I have a limited question only.
Yeah, please.
See, as you mentioned, like present the code is not available in the data factory. But this is data factory only, right?
No, it's not available in the Data Factory. It's available in the Git.
We'll go and
Okay.
check it.
If we go to the live,
Okay, then it will come to data factory.
yes, no, nothing is available except link services. Okay, and you can say you have Git enabled in the Data Factory. Publishing in Data Factory mode is disabled. Please switch back to Git mode to make sure further changes. You're not supposed to do changes directly here.
Okay. But
You have to come through the Git office.
okay, but usually how the process will
I'll talk about. So tomorrow that I'm going to talk.
and also can you please open the data flow? The DFSA type 2. Yeah, so here, right? Yeah. The starting of the left side.
Mm-hmm.
So this one directly it's enabled, right? So how we take this target select?
We added it, right?
The second flow also how that
See, this and this both are same object. Because of the space issues, it has taken separate. Okay, so do not
Okay.
think both are different. Both are same. If I select it, it is different. If I select this, then you can say it. Or if I select this, then it is pointing to this. This is coming from here. Okay, so
Okay,
this
okay.
is equivalent to this. Both are same.
Okay, yeah, we'll do practice.
Okay, you need to have some practice.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you for joining us. I'll take questions tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow.